Okay, so we've got the base and the eyes done. I do think I'm going to upgrade to maybe a fuller, more dramatic set of lashes later, because these ones just, they're not doing what I want. They're not drawing a lot of attention. But now, before I go on to the yarn and adding on her veins, I'm just going to use a bit of my setting spray here to try and set the base, so hopefully the glue doesn't mess it all up. Now, I don't do full face makeup often, so this is really the only time I use my setting spray. Ooh, there's some globs of unblended contour there, so let's just kind of dab those out with my fingers. Oh, I realized I forgot to do my eyebrows. So for my eyebrows, I'm just going to take some straight black eyeshadow and fill in my eyebrows here. I'm not going to feather them out or anything like you would do for like normal everyday brows, because this is a character, right? She doesn't have perfect, pristine eyebrows. And I'm just following the natural shape of my eyebrows that I currently have. And I know one eyebrow of mine is much thinner than the other just naturally. And so I'm just going to try and make them look as similar as possible. Lessen the sharp arch on that one. And now, because Salem is rather angry, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put them a little bit closer, but I'm going to bring them down so that it's a little more stern. Or I'm going to attempt to make her look a little more stern. I'm kind of happy with those. Now, because I just have some black on this brush, I'm just going to add a bit more depth right here while I'm at it to my eyes, because I wanna. For me, cosplay makeup on characters that don't wear makeup as far as we can tell, you have full creative liberty. Do whatever you want and what you think is going to look best for your face shape, for your eye shape, and for just your personal style. I want to bring a little bit more attention to her eyes. Her face is going to be very busy, so why shouldn't she have some extravagant makeup? I think I'm also going to bring just a touch of that down here, just on this outer corner. Ideally, I would have done this before I applied those fake lashes, because they're definitely getting in the way right now. Now, looking closely at this, it looks terrible. But when I look at it in the camera from a distance, I'm actually quite happy with it. It's just a little more intense up in person. But that's what costume makeup is. So, now, what could be the fun part? So, to attach these to my face, I've seen people use white glue, but I want this to be able to hold all day. So I'm actually going to use some Prozade cream. But first, I don't want my veins to be this thick. So I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to pull out individual strands, because I kind of like that. And so like sitting it on my face, that looks a little bit more organic than if I could paint it. So we're going to see how this goes. This cap might be glued shut. I got it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some Prozade onto my fingers here. And then I'm just going to grab and coat this in Prozaid. I do also have some clear Elmer's glue, so if this doesn't work, we're going to try that. Definitely gonna have sticky fingers after this. My Prozaid is a little runnier than usual, so I'm wondering if it's past its shelf life. So now, usually you would have to wait for this to get tacky, but because I'm not sure how this yarn is actually going to work, I'm just going to throw this first one onto my face. We're going to see how it goes. Now, I don't have a reference image of Salem open, but I'm just going to go for it. And I have my little crafting scissors here to cut the yarn down as I go. So I think this piece is actually a little bit long. I'm going to get a little bit more of the Prozaid on my finger here. And just kind of use some extra Prozaid to tap it down. So far I'm really liking that. That's a cleaner line than I could ever get with acrylic paint. So I'm going to use the rest of this one. I think because this one's shorter, I'm actually going to use it for one of her upper veins here. Oop, it popped off. So what I'm finding is kind of putting the yarn down and then just putting my finger into more of this Prozaid and tapping it on is working really well to get it to hold. And so this time I'm actually going to take this and kind of gauge out where I want it so I can cut it down prior to coating it. My fingers are already super sticky and making the yarn stick to everything. But that's what happens when you work with glues, right? Now, this is actually working really well, so I don't think I'm going to have to go to the white glue. Gonna make it meet that one and then come up and then just tap it down. I think I'm actually gonna have this see if I can get a bit of a curve going on in this one. This is actually going like 10 times better than I ever thought it would be. And like it might be a little messier, but I think this will end up saving me so much time in the long run with Salem's makeup, rather than trying to make sure all of these veins look perfect with a paintbrush. And now I'm kind of having them meet right here at my jawline, and so I'm just going to tap a little bit extra Prozaid there. And I'm really happy with the way this is going. Now, I think I want to see what happens if I let this actually get sticky on its own. So I'm going to coat 2 pieces of yarn this time. And I'm going to put one directly on my face while the other one kind of sits down on my workspace here and gets tacky. Might be worth it to keep a little dish of water next to you if you're going to try and recreate this to kind of clean off your fingers. So we're going to let that one get tacky. And then we're going to coat this one and just put it directly on my face. I think I'm going to have this one try and go down my neck a little bit. See how this will hold around like the curves of my neck and jaw. I probably should have tied my hair back prior to doing this part just so that I don't get glue in it, but I'm gonna have to shower this makeup off anyways, so. Oh, that gets a really nice clean line there. And I put it on with stretching my neck, so hopefully once it dries, I'll still be able to move my neck around. Okay, now this is the one that we like get tacky. So I'm gonna start doing some on this side of my face now. Whoop! So the wet glue definitely works a little bit better than letting it dry and get a bit tacky from what I'm noticing. Now, the key thing to make sure if you're using Pros-Aide or anything like that, make sure you have the proper remover, because it's kind of like spirit gum where like you'll use it and then you'll also have the spirit gum remover, because otherwise you risk damaging your skin when pulling it off. Oh, I have sticky hands and I need to cut out more of this yarn. Try and get my hands a little less sticky so I don't ruin all of this yarn. I think I'm actually going to cut a couple sections of it so I don't have to worry about it again. So the only real problem I'm seeing with doing this makeup is Salem has a pretty tight neckline, and I would have to do this all in costume. So I might look into a way to see how I can like properly cover the costume to avoid it getting damaged doing all this makeup and glue work. So definitely peel all these off from the single thread before you start gluing, because right now it's really hard to peel them apart because my fingers are sticky, and so I'm having to use like these fingers to peel it apart without getting it all over the place. I'm also doing this when no one else is home. And I live with my parents currently, so my mom's gonna come home and she's gonna see me like this. And she's gonna be very confused. Okay, now that I've got a decent amount of strips cut back out, I'm gonna go in and cut this guy down like I did the other one, because I want to get another one of those short veins connecting to it. Now the one thing I'm noticing is the setting spray I used is doing really good at holding the face paint in place so that I can actually like, even though these have glue on them, move them around on my face and it's not pulling off any of the face paint. So that's good. Let's try not to get some yarn into my Pros-Aide bottle here. Next time I'm thinking when I do this for any time in the future, I'm going to put the Pros-Aide onto like a dish so I can just dip my fingers in that and not worry about getting extra yarn things, because I don't really want yarn threads into my Pros-Aide. I'm going to do this one that goes up to my eye here. I think I'm actually going to have that one crossed down here. Now, I highly suggest when you're doing this, make sure you have the actual reference image so you know where your veins or cracks or whatever. And for any other cosplay, like, you can use this for, like, say green veins on a fey creature you're doing, or like a wood nymph. I might do some green tree-like vines on a fairy look I do. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to do the one that goes to my eyebrow here. Now I'm being very careful to not get the prosade in my hair here. Prior to doing this, I probably should have even put on my wig cap. And if you're wondering what that black on my finger is, that's I smudged eyeliner all over my finger when I was putting the caps back on. Oh, this guy's popping off. Let's put a little bit more prosade on our fingers and just smooth him up. Like, these are nicely stuck on there. I'm really happy with how this is going. Now, she has a gem right here, so I'm going to leave this section completely free. I do know that Salem has like a cluster right here, which is why I'm kind of blending them all into right there. It's been a while since I looked at her face makeup. Sticky, sticky, sticky. I think I'm going to do some going down my neck now along this area. So to try and hide the edges, what I'm actually going to do for these ones is I think I'm going to stick them underneath my jaw. Now, prosade is also what I use to attach her gem. I made her gem out of foam clay. I just kind of flattened it and then cut out a diamond shape. So I'm just going to tack that one there. And I think I'm going to have this kind of follow around my throat. And then I think I'm going to have it turn more towards... Now, I'm probably not going to do as many because she does have a higher collar that covers from here to here. So most of this section is going to be free of it. But if I can do it in one long thread right now, I'm going to. I'll do a good makeup video on the day I'm doing her for con so that you guys can see the exact way I do it. And like the prosade isn't tinting these any color, which I kind of like. So we're going to do one right here too. I don't think I got enough on this one, but just means it'll be easier to remove later. And the nice thing is because this yarn thins out near the edges, it makes the vein look a little more natural in its ending. It doesn't look blunt or cut off or anything like that. Okay, so there's definitely some spots popping up, so I'm just going to throw a little bit thicker of a coat of prosade on those spots. Mostly the ends, because I want to make sure the ends are really nice and stuck down. Just checking to see if I have a hair tie here. got some hair clips, so I'm just gonna clip my hair up because now that I'm working on my neck, there's a much higher risk of getting the glue in the hair. And I don't want to be dealing with glue in my hair. Now, I'm pretty happy with this amount of veins for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim these pieces down. Being very aware of where my natural hairs are so I don't trim them. I actually had to pull some glue out of that hair because I avoided cutting the hairs, luckily. And I'm just going to throw a bit more right there. Now, my hairline's going to be sticky anyways on the original day, so I'm not too worried about getting Pros-Aid right there. Now, I have this gem. I crafted it out of foam clay. You can see it has a bit of a curve to it. That's because when it was still drying, I actually placed it against my head so that it gets a nice, solid, secure fit. Like, I can just place it there, and it holds pretty well because of how well shaped it is. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Pros-Aid there, and then I'm going to use it the way Pros-Aid's supposed to be, and put it right there on my forehead where her gem's going to go. And I'm going to wait for that to become a little bit tacky. So, while that's doing tacky, I think I'm actually going to put a couple veins. No, I'm not going to put any more veins there. Don't go too hard, Zira. Slow down. My mother just got home. Now, while we're waiting for this to dry, I don't know. I haven't fully decided on if I want to give her a solid red lip or a glittery red lip. So I think for this test one, I'm going to do the glitter. Because if I don't like it, next time I can always use the solid. But I won't know if I don't like the glitter until now. So. Oh no, my glitter might be dead. So, unfortunately, my glitter lipstick is dead. So we're going to have to go with this one. Now, I believe Salem actually has white lips, but I find I'm looking a little flat with white lips. So I'm thinking a nice bright red lip will really help bring a little bit more definition into her face. Teeth check. All good there. Okay, so now this should be nice and tacky. And I'm just gonna do my best to make sure that this point lines up with my nose and place it on as straight as I can. Oh, I got a little more Pros-Aid up there than I meant to. And I actually put this on upside down so it's not gluing as well. So let's flip this the right way around. Because of that curve I added, it is very easy to put this on upside down. Okay, and so now with that done, I am going to get my hair all set up, and we're going to throw on the wig, and I will be right back, and we'll see how it looks. So, now I've got the wig on, and I've got little hair danglies. As you can see, this is kind of why I'm wanting to redo it. It's a little bit comical in size, and my little hair loopies don't stand up all that great. But here is our finished test makeup. I'm really happy with it. Why don't we go see what my mom's opinion is on it now that she's home? Okay. So I did the test with the yarn for the Salem makeup. What do you think of it?
I kind of like it on your face. I don't like it on your neck.
Well, the collar does come up to here, and then it opens down here. So I'm probably going to do some on like my chest, but I'm not 100% sure on how it looks there. But like, this looks way better than the face paint did last year, right?
On the neck, I think it's just not sticking right.
Yeah, I think because of how much my neck moves, it's going to pop off a lot. My wig is falling down because I didn't glue it on for this.
I thought you were going to make it go smaller.
This is the old wig.
Oh.
The new wig is still being glued. Yeah, we like it?